Still there? So, I know for the most part, I just talk and talk, but I don't actually explain. So how about through this video here, I explain what I mean. Let's talk about how to be a better person. What does it mean to be a better person? Does it mean to follow the morality of the world around us? Does it mean to abide by every single situation the world gives? What does it mean to be good? That's a big question, Though I'm not saying it to question as in let anarchy reign upon this world. No, that's madness. Morality, goodness, is being able to help others, right? Being willing to accept help from others. And why does accepting help from others is something to be considered good? Well, to let you know, it takes a lot of strength inside yourself to be willing to accept the help when you need it. It means being kind to yourself. Being good to yourself is something that you need, right? You need to understand why it is you're feeling the way you're feeling. What led you up to that situation, to that moment in your life, to where you are. Going back, morality, right, is definitely something man-made. It's something we created because we as a species are cognizant and we have a conscience. And we feel what is good and what is bad within ourselves. Obviously, this world does need to have some dictations into what it means to be good. For if we just keep the lines open, then it could be blurred and people could use it against others, right? To slightly use it. Just for their own gain. So, I'll ask the question again. What does it mean to be good? To me, right? Being good means to help out others, right? To be compassionate, to be willing to stand up when you need to for others, for yourself. See, we as people also need to be compassionate towards ourselves. Some might have an easier time doing so than others, and others could have a hell of a time, right? And with those who struggle so much, well, you gotta remember you're not alone. And you also have to remember, if you're trying to do something to do better from whatever circumstance you're in currently, and that's what counts, because you're trying to be better. You will fail at times, and that's okay. You might want to give up, but when you decide to get back on that horse, that's what counts. Because you need an indomitable spirit to keep fighting. If you let yourself go, then there'll be nothing to gain, and you'll be stuck in a perpetual loop. You always have to be asking yourself, why is it that you're feeling a certain way? Why is it that you're thinking that way? Why is it happening? Why? You won't always have somebody there to guide you and hold your hands through the tough times ahead of you. But that doesn't mean you have an excuse to give up, or it doesn't mean you have the excuse to turn your back and be something that, well, you end up detesting later. You have the power within you to do what you can. See, I work at a job with children, and it teaches me a lot. See, them kids, they're something. They could be kind, they could be mean. They can be loving, and they can be spiteful. It just shows that children are the I guess you could say, the pure essence of what a human being is, right? Raw, unchanged, unfiltered. Because they don't know how to control it. They don't understand it. They just act because that's how they need to act. And we as adults, right, we gotta help them. We gotta help them understand why they feel that way. Help them understand what it is they want to convey, to express. And we also have to understand that we can't limit them. We can't force their emotions aside either. We have to make sure that we're acknowledging it through the process. Because if we don't acknowledge the process, then they'll completely forget about it and they'll feel invalidated. To bring it up to you, the individual, right now, whether you're a teenager or an adult, whichever you may be, you can't neglect the process you're going through. You can't neglect the emotions you're feeling. You have to face them. You have to look at them. You have to be like, okay, I feel that. See, for me, I remember, right? I remember times when I was with the girl I loved, right? The girl that I was with, the one that I gave up on, right? When I was with her, I was scared. I was scared because I wanted to break up with her. I had no reason to. I loved her. Why would I give up the girl that I love? It seems preposterous. It seems wild. It seemed bizarre. It was because I was scared inside. I was scared. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was scared. I didn't know what I was going to be able to do if something were to happen. Especially when we had times of turbulations. See, I was always the one who had to make sure to keep a calm head. Obviously, I'm not saying that she forced me to or anything like that, no. But I'm saying because I understood humanity more, because I understood why a person would act as they did. I had that responsibility regardless. So, I was scared. Because even though I had an understanding of humanity, right? When I was placed in a trial of actually going through and learning and teaching and understanding and experiencing it, it was a scary thought. I didn't know when there would be the day where I'd say, I can't handle this anymore. That thought scared me. Being scared, not being able to handle a situation. So every time there was a situation that arose, I persevered on because I needed to. I needed to be able to challenge myself. When I finally got over a situation that seemed too high for me, I took a moment to breathe. And I took a moment to analyze. And I saw that I could, and that I did handle the situation. But I'm not saying that I handled it maybe the best or the worst. I just handled the situation. I was able to take the step that I needed to. When you continue to acknowledge your abilities, your emotions, your thoughts, then you'll get a greater respect for yourself. Even the thoughts that you hate, right? See, I was a person way back when who I had a lot of struggles with myself internally, right? And I split myself up into different people, different personalities, you may say. At the end of the day, it was still me, regardless. But why did I split myself up? Why did I tear myself to a bunch of different individuals? It's because I was scared. Because I was scared that I wouldn't be able to handle a situation, so I wanted somebody else to take the reins. I was scared that if I was faced with responsibility, I wouldn't be able to handle it, so I wanted somebody else to handle it for me. And you know what? as I got older, I realized I couldn't rely on that. That was unhealthy. It wasn't right for me. And let me make a short note right here, right? That I'm not trying to dismiss individuals who might have a personality disorder or DID or anything as such. No, you can't deny them that, right? They're their own individuals. Just because I did what I did didn't mean it pertains to them. Still people. You still got to understand them. And you see, the thing is, right, I'm studying about the human mind, and I'm studying about the individual, how to help, right? Because of that, I also need to make sure that I express things with certainty, right? And express things with kindness and compassion. So that way you all understand as well that I'm not just saying things out of my arse. But see, as I was saying, individuals with personality disorders, sure, they might be dealing with a lot of issues, right? They might be dealing with things that they can't control because it's a chemical imbalance or it's something within their brain that triggers the way they are, right? So because of that, there has to be a different kind of compassion and understanding. Obviously, we know that systems are messed up, right? Different parts of the world, so you have different circumstances with how things go, but that doesn't mean you, the individual who's hearing this, can't find a way to be compassionate. But regardless, going back, I realized I had to take the responsibility. I had to stand up for myself. I couldn't let myself fall under delusion. See, the only reason why I woke up from that was because before this person that I fell in love with and I lost, right, there was another. And I was afraid that I'd hurt them. I'd hurt her. So I ran away. Told her I didn't want to be friends. I knew how they'd react. But yet, when I experienced the reaction, that broke me completely. Even now to this day, I could still hear that echo of the past in my head. But now, when I hear it, it's not because I feel continual pain over it. No, it's because I understood that that was a significant point in my life that needed to happen so I could change the direction of my life. So I could be a better person, so I could be more understanding, so I could be compassionate more than I already was. See, I have plenty of lessons to teach this world, but there also needs to be people to listen. How many people will listen? That's the question, right? Now, I understand at times I'll be going off on tangents because I'm talking about the state of the world, about the emotions we feel, about what it means to be a person, right? This is all the entire thing uncut, of course, so that way you can hear my stutters, so you could hear the process of a brain happening. Because I want people to learn, I want people to grow, I want people to respect each other, I want people to understand themselves, I want everybody to have peace within themselves. See, that's a hard thing, having peace. I've struggled with my internal peace, as I've stated before. But one thing that I did realize, was that I do have peace. It's just managing to maintain it and keep it as a steady thing. Our peace can shake during great trials of tribulations, but you gotta learn how to center yourself. You see, sometimes when you feel a certain emotion, it lingers for a long time. Other times it stops automatically. And there are times where it'll just come and go. No way to know when it'll come. No way to know when it'll go. It just happens. That's okay. But when the emotion pops up, feel it, understand it. It's going to be hard, understandably, because if the emotion's negative, well, it'll feel like you're drowning. It'll feel like you're suffocating. It'll feel like you're fighting for your life. That's okay. You can't be scared of it. You can't be scared of the emotion that holds you down sometimes. You have to learn to embrace it. See, I enjoy watching TV shows and movies, right? Because they all have meaning inside of them one way or another. Sometimes they're just silly, fun movies to watch. Other times they have deeper meanings. But one thing that I learned through a majority of the things I watched is that you got to learn how to find peace within yourself. You can have a raging war and you can do the most absurd things in hopes that it'll quell that pain inside yourself, that madness that consumes you. But when you finally awake, when you finally stop it, you'll see that that wasn't ever going to help you. No. You have to take the time to get to know yourself. We all have thoughts we don't like. We all have feelings we hate. But that's what it is to be human. That's what it means to exist. Ask yourself a question right now. What do you want in this world? What do you want in this life? What do you want for you? They're all big questions. They could be quite scary. Some people, when they're asked what they want to do for the rest of their lives, they don't know. And so it becomes an overwhelming thought that consumes them and they just ultimately give up. That thought is exactly like that. It can be overwhelming and you want to give up at times. But you have to learn to keep it persevering. You got to try. You got to see other things happen. You got to experience certain emotions. Sometimes this world won't be kind to you. Sometimes this world will spit in your face and walk away. Other times you'll have the world help you up, laugh with you, and support you. There are many ways this world acts. Some people have their cards dealt differently, harsher than others. To those who struggle with those cards, doesn't mean you gotta give up. Doesn't mean you have to stop. I'm continually hammering those types of words so you know to keep going, to keep fighting, to keep living, to keep breathing, to keep trying, to keep going. I saw a world on fire. There was nothing to do. I turned into the forest and watched it burn in a beautiful blaze. It was loud and quiet at the same time, and yet it was freeing. A bird flew over my head, and as I watched it fly into the burning forest, it turned to me and said, "Where is my home?" You see, that little story there came to me out of the blue. And I asked myself, why was the world on fire? Who set it on fire? Who was the one who caused such harm? As the time passed, I realized it was myself. I was the one who burnt the world. I burnt my world. I set it ablaze and all I could do was watch in beautiful catharsis. And the bird that flew into the forest asking, "Where is my home?" was also me as well. Because even now, as I continue on through my journey to try to help this world as I can, right? I still don't know where my home is. See, some people say home is where the heart is. Some say home is with family. But for me, that's not the case. And so I look and I wonder. I'll figure it out as it comes, but I'll have to wait and see. It's a process. You have to be patient. I remember a time where I was very patient, and I remember a time where I was very impatient. And it was funny because the time where I was very impatient was after a time I was very patient. How contradicting is that, huh? See, I was trying to remedy a friendship. I was trying very hard because I wanted to show how much I felt bad for hurting him. And this was a friend I was talking about earlier, that I was afraid I'd hurt them, so I let go. And when I let go, and they said that I didn't want to be friends, they spoke in such a hurt tone. Well, anyways, that friend, I'd been trying so hard. It's been so hard for me to try to prove to them that I could be their friend again. Yes, I know I could cut my loss, but there are other things that come into play to the decision that I made. We have other friends. We have mutual friends. And if I were to just give up on that, by trying to give up on that friendship, then eventually the mutual friend group would no longer be with them. I don't want that. I want them to still be friends with everyone else. Just because I'm the one who walked away and hurt them doesn't mean that others have to pay for the price that I should be paying. But regardless, I tried so hard reaching out to them, trying to talk to them, bringing it up every single chance I got, because I was so consumed with the guilt. Pushed them away more, made them ignore me more, made me feel that I wasn't being heard, that they didn't understand me, that they didn't care for me at all. That hurt. And to some point I thought to myself, maybe this is the price I have to pay. Maybe they just want to see me in pain. And you know what? I'm okay with being in pain. Why? Because I thought I deserved it. But the thing is, as I said, I tried to do what I can. I tried to do what I could for them. Tried to do what I could for them. Because of it, I realized I didn't have to continue to pay that price. For now, all I'm doing is just taking it piece by piece, each moment, as it comes with them. And if things happen to get better, they'll get better in due time. But I don't force it as I did anymore. It was a tiring thing for me. Very tiring. It caused me to have thoughts that I regret. But it just proved to me that I let it weigh on more than I could ever handle. Eventually I realized I had to step away for a bit. Thus I did. For about a month I stepped away, letting go and just existing, because I needed to get myself again. I needed to catch myself. It's okay to take a moment for yourself when you need it, because ultimately at the end of the day, you're stuck with yourself. You're living the life that you create. It's all on you. So it's okay to take a moment. It's okay to take a breath. And it's okay to ask for help and to talk. Just find someone who you know will be there to listen. Even if you don't have many, that's okay. Or just talk to the world itself. Go to the beach or to somewhere secluded and just talk out loud and let it be heard. Let the world hear you. If you ain't got somebody, you'll find peace within that. Or find another outlet to express it if you need be. Everybody has their own means of expressing things. You just need to find your own. But anyways, with that, I leave you. And I'll be back for another recording. Whether it's me singing up some song or just talking to try to help this world as I can, I'll be back. You know this. So till then, I say to thee, fly high, fly free. Have a good day or night.